Thanksgiving.
Such a unique thing in Canada that it's this time of year.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And go Jays.
Pretty cool, you know, it's baseball and Thanksgiving.
This year, I'm thankful for the Blue Jays.
Happy Thanksgiving! Go Jays!
And what a Thanksgiving it is here in Toronto. The Maple Leafs played earlier this afternoon, hosted the Red Wings, dropped a 3-2 decision. They're actually keeping Scotiabank Arena open so fans can stay there and watch this game inside Rogers Center. 28 times the road team has gone up 2-0. 25 of those 28 times they've gone on to win the series, so it's not a must-win, but it's pretty darn close for John Schneider's bunch. As we take a look at today's same-game parlay, available now on FanDuel. I need Julio Rodriguez to knock in a run. Trey Savage had 11 Ks against the Yankees last time. You only need him to get 6 of those to qualify here. And Dalton Varsho is hitless in the first game of this series. Need him to get a hit. Randy Arozarena heads up there to lead things off for the Seattle Mariners, coming off the 3-1 win in Game 1. And Trey Savage gets ready to face him. The 22-year-old has struck out 11 Yankees in his postseason debut.
Yeah, very dynamic throughout the first couple innings. We'll try to explain to you why he's so tough to hit and why it's so difficult for hitters to see this release point. But he's got basically 3 pitches that he rely on, and that split finger was really what everybody was talking about. Unhittable against the Yankees.
Savage has been in the big leagues for less than a month, and the pressure on him to get this series tied up as it heads to Seattle. Arozarena stands in, and off we go with a fastball strike to the inside corner.
Fastball's firm, and his fastball has command. If there's any issue, it's when he loses command of that fastball, and it won't make his split quite as good.
One of each. A slider right there, and it's 0-2. Arozarena without a home run his last 100 at bats. You're going to go back a month. Their struggling leadoff hitter who was 0 for 4 in the first game yesterday.
What you're going to see is top to bottom. You won't see east to west very much. Top to bottom, fastball height, and then the bottom drops out on those 2 off speeds. There's the splitter that he spikes, but for Arozarena, he has really come off the fastball, meaning he is not hitting the fastball, which is alarming because that's what he was so good at for so long.
It's just outside. Savage with a couple sliders in this first at bat. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And Arozarena with a couple steps to the dugout. If they both told you they thought it was a strike, and only one person thought it wasn't.
Doug Eddings, only guy that matters. 2-2. Yeah, and he's worked it full. Arozarena has not been getting the hits, but he did walk yesterday. Steal 2 bases after the walk and coming to score the insurance run in the 8th inning. Cal Raleigh's the only guy that has done much of anything in this postseason for Seattle. He gets hit by this 3-2, and the leadoff man reaches. I've heard you talk about it so many times. Regular season, a guy gets on, no big deal, but in the postseason, an immediate big-time stress as this Mariners lineup comes to bat with Raleigh headed to the plate. And then Julio Rodriguez, who reached 3 times in the first game. Polanco's been the hero, it seems like, every night. Naylor and Suarez, and then Canzone, Robles, and Crawford to the same 9 as game 1. So here is Raleigh. Kevin Gausman went into that at bat against Cal Raleigh last night, having retired 16 in a row. He had gotten 2 strikes on Raleigh, but then Cal hit his 62nd home run to tie the game, and he fouls off the first pitch here.
Well, as amazing of a year as he's had, and I think it's MVP amazing, he actually has, when you dive into the numbers, more swings and misses than you would think. Doesn't put the ball in play, but when he does, the damage is off the charts.
60 during the regular season, 2 shy of the American League record, and 2 in the postseason so far. Raleigh's hit 400 in the playoffs. The rest of the Mariners have hit 180. And only 1 time have they scored more than 3 runs, relying on that pitching. Savage's 0-1 is high for ball 1.
So here's the interesting, when you dive into the numbers, you see only 18% of the time they throw an inside pitch, he's able to put it in play. But his slugging on the inside pitch is off the charts, so it means you have very little room for error in that place where you're trying to get him out.
Ball, that's down.
Good take. Now, Trey Savage in the strike zone very rarely. The zone percentage in his first start of the postseason, that was as low as any zone percentage for any pitcher in baseball all year, but guys just can't lay off. He gets more chase than any pitcher in baseball. So if I'm the Mariners, why don't I just go up there and wait him out?
And that's the tough part. Right now it's not so tough because he's not commanding the fastball for strikes. When he gets the fastball for strikes early in the count, as a hitter, you do not want to get beat on the fastball, and that's what brings in the split finger.
3-1 to Raleigh is fouled back.
See that pitch right there. Okay, if that was a 1-2 pitch, then he probably follows that off with a split finger off that height. That's a top of the zone, hard pitch to hit for a hitter, especially with 7.1 foot of release, the highest release point in baseball. And the hitters just don't see that, and so that illusion and that fastball plays faster up there than what the miles per hour say.
Rosarena dancing around over at first after his hit by a pitch to start the game. Here's a payoff pitch. Raleigh takes ball 4, and the first 2 have reached for Seattle.
This is the unknown factor for an inexperienced but dynamic pitcher. How is he going to handle the environment the second time through? Down 1 game versus the cushion of being up 1 game against the New York Yankees. He was riding an incredible wave, and his composure, everyone talks about how great it is. This is where it'll be tested right now.
He was riding the wave, and he was playing with house money after Gausman had gotten him off to the 1-0 series advantage. The pressure on here, though. And immediately in this first inning, Julio Rodriguez takes a strike. Rodriguez came into the series 0 for his last 14, but he singled and walked twice yesterday. Scored the game-winning run on the base hit from Polanco. 2 on, nobody out. Rodriguez takes strike 2. Rare to see him take back-to-back pitches.
Well, he's been smoking the fastball and getting the fastball up in the zone. Those 2 off-speed pitches hit in the strike zone. Release point is so huge, and you see how in the first game he didn't give up a hit and only 2 base runners. Already 2 base runners and not an out recorded in the second start.
Here's his 1-2. Rodriguez hooks one in the air down the line. If it's fair, it's got a chance, and it's gone. Julio Rodriguez with a 3-run shot in the first inning. Totally different story for Trey Savage. In his second postseason start, he gets punched right away. One of the top home run hitting clubs in baseball this year. They've not had the same kind of power in the postseason. They've been able to survive it because the pitching has been so good. Rodriguez hits it out, and if you start getting that power like they did for a lot of the regular season, look out.
Well, you never know in a postseason game. We've talked about it. 0-2, innocent first at bat. He gets maybe a call that goes against him and then hits the batman. And then the next thing you know is 3 runs. Those little things are the things that drive you crazy in a postseason game and get magnified and put pressure on a young pitcher. And that split finger was probably the only bad split finger we've seen him throw so far, and it ended up in being 3 runs.
Yeah, just like Raleigh's home run yesterday, it comes on a 2-strike pitch. Polanco on 0-2, swings and misses, and there's the first strikeout, the first out, after 3 runs have already crossed.
Well, this is the one that was going to be strike 3. Everybody knew it except for home plate umpire, and still you've got to be able to get out of that at bat. And then that split finger that just fluttered right over the middle, and the timing of seeing 3 in a row allowed Rodriguez to stay back, keep his hands back, and keep it fair.
Second of the postseason for Rodriguez after 30 during the regular year. That's a strike on Josh Naylor.
So this is how cruel baseball is. That's his first hit he's given up, and it resulted in 3 runs. He hadn't given up a hit in the first game. Probably would have gone a lot longer had the score been different. And now he's faced with his first adversity where he's going to have to pound the strike zone and get back to where he's comfortable and keep them, because 3 runs typically against the Blue Jays is not going to be enough.
Well, if you get the Blue Jays offense you saw for a lot of the regular season, saw in the division series against the Yankees when they averaged 9 runs per game. This is nothing. But against this Mariners pitching, 3 runs feels hefty. 0-2. Naylor had 6 hits the last 2 games of the division series, but he was 0 for 4 yesterday. Struck out twice. On this 1-2, he fouls it off and stays alive, although feeling it.
See, again, now the hitters are going to get used to north and south. All right. And if that's the only area they have to worry about, then it gets easier for them to hit. But having said that, if the fastball gets pounded constantly for strikes, then the north and south is not going to be easy for them. They can recognize pitches right east and west outside the strike zone because his fastball is pretty straight. It's over the middle of the plate that they have to make that quick decision. And we'll show you some graphics of how that timing changes when you see a fastball versus a split following. The person at home has no idea how impossible it is to pick up that pitch in a split second.
The Yankees had no chance. The Yankees went 0 for 11 against his splitter. And here's what you're talking about, shedding some more detail on what this is like.
So there comes the fastball. There's the timing you have on the fastball. And by the time you got to make a decision on that fastball, guess what? There's the variance and velocity and movement, and you have virtually no chance to recognize the 2.
StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. Naylor on 1-2, fouls it off.
And so people might ask, well, why don't more people do that? Well, it's almost impossible to do what he's doing from that height. And pitching is not perfection where you every day feel like you have your best stuff and you're mechanically connected. Release point, key.
Naylor goes up to get it, grounds it through the middle, base hit center field. Another 2-strike hit for Seattle as Naylor went up there above the letters to get to it.
He's one of the few guys in this lineup that can get the ball 95+ miles an hour and loves it. His bat path and the way that he sees the baseball. Do you see how flat that swing was? If you're underneath that at all, forget it. So you can see how flat. That's the attack angle you got to have when you're facing a 96-mile-an-hour fastball top of the zone.
The Mariners, against this unique look, have put 4 the first 5 on. And now Eugenio Suarez comes to the plate.
Now this guy's the opposite. He wants the ball down. He's going to extend to both parts of the field, put the ball down. Fastball down is where his power is.
Wants it down so he can hit it up. 49 home runs in the regular season for Eugenio Suarez. He almost had one last night. Just got it off the top of the wall and turned it into a double. Back with the Mariners after going to the Diamondbacks for a couple years.
Oh, no.
Got him at the deadline. Along with the guy that just got the base hit in Josh Naylor. Took a Mariners offense that was much improved from previous seasons and made it down the stretch the best offense in baseball. On a 1-1, Suarez swings and misses over a slider. The Savages 1-2, struck him out with a high fastball. There you go. He stays away from the sweet spot. Strikes him out with a high heat. 2 gone in this first inning.
The one thing he's got to do as we watch this pitch, get that second strikeout, he's got to hold the ball in his hand for the split finger grip. And the reason he's got to do that is when he goes to the glove, that's when he'll change it. If he doesn't, he goes back to giving that pitch away with your grip and glove.
Well, that's all.
Misses with his first one to can zone.
So you'll see here he goes to the split finger grip. He's got it in his hand. Right there, and then he'll move it around to the pitch he wants once he gets it in the glove.
There goes Naylor from first. Throw from Kirk. Not close to in time. Josh Naylor, incredible. He's now 21 for 21, John, in stolen bases since going to Seattle.
He didn't know what to do right there. He didn't know if I should slide.
30 out of 32 on the season, even though he's one of the slowest guys in baseball. In fact, the only guy slower is the catcher that was trying to throw him out right there in Alejandro Kirk. The power of game planning and the mental side. And already the bullpen for the Blue Jays getting going. Fisher. 1-2 coming to Canzone. Down into the fastball and gets 3 Ks in the inning, but Seattle gets 3 runs. Julio Rodriguez inside the foul pole as the Mariners try to take a 2-0 series lead back home to Seattle. Today's telecast is sponsored by Google Cloud, the official AI partner of MLB. Catch the game like never before with Google Cloud AI. 3-0 Seattle on Rodriguez's first inning home run. And the Blue Jays coming to bat here, playing from behind today with George Springer to lead things off for Toronto. He led off yesterday's game with a home run. That would be it. Nathan Lucas is in there after fouling that ball off his knee. Same look through the heart of the lineup. A little bit different down at the bottom. As Santander was scratched with lower back tightness, Davis Schneider gets plugged into the lineup at the last minute. And they face off with Logan Gilbert, who dominated in Game 3 in Detroit and then came back and pitched 2 innings out of the bullpen, doing his best Randy Johnson impression in Game 5. And so like Bryce Miller last night, he's going on short rest today. His first pitch of the day is a strike on Springer.
Well, he'll throw that pitch a lot. Sliders he's not afraid to throw, and he'll throw off speed more than he'll throw fastballs. And there's the breakdown in the usage. Through Springer a ton of sliders in their matchups previous.
Ball.
One thing he's done really well in the year is taking care of the top of the order and the leadoff batter. And we talk about it over and over again. The leadoff batter in an inning is so crucial in the postseason.
Here's the 1-1 to Springer, and it's chopped foul. This is more the same from yesterday. Mariners pitchers getting ahead. That's the whole idea. Of course, you always want strike one, but the Mariners really emphasize it. And in Game 1, 80% first pitch strike rate. Logan Gilbert has been one of the best in baseball in that category all year. His 1-2 to Springer is rocketed down the line foul.
Now there's that split finger that he throws, and it has a little bit different action, a different release point. At 6'6", you would think he has a high release point, but he actually has a long stride. So what that means is a lower arm angle, and it's a lower delivery than what his counterpart on the mound, Savage, is currently at.
He's home with another 1-2. Springer takes ball 2. So you've got your Savage, who releases the ball higher than anybody in baseball. Very unique. You've got Gilbert, who releases the ball closer to home plate than anybody in baseball.
And that's what makes him uniquely different and hard to hit at the same time. Short stride from your Savage, long stride.
Down the line towards the pole and just foul. Springer that close to doing it again.
Another slider, and he's seen a bunch of them. It's a little bit of a flatter slider so far out of the gate. You expect a little bit of that. See how that spin is staying right there? When the hitter sees that big dot of the seams coming together, their eyes light up, and the ball usually does that and goes a long way.
With the first leadoff home run in Blue Jays postseason history yesterday. Leading this one off against Gilbert. Sending a drive to left center field. Arozarena's back. It is off of the warning track, and it's extra bases for Springer. Again, sparking this Toronto offense and bringing this crowd right back into the equation.
Well, some pitchers want to prove to themselves they can make the adjustment from pitch to pitch. This was the knuckle curveball, or at least that breaking ball that he has not been able to get to turn the corner on, and that's flat in the zone again.
Leadoff double. Up comes Nathan Lucas, who shoots the first pitch foul. Lucas in the lineup after he fouls a ball off his knee yesterday. I don't know about you, but I'm thinking, I don't know if this guy's going to be in there. I don't know if I'd even walk if I'd done what he did. And Nathan Lucas has given him some big swings this postseason. Hit second. Pad on his knee. He's going to move the runner up here at least. Close play at first, and it's thrown behind him. Blue Jays on the board. Lucas puts it in play. Naylor's feed was behind Gilbert, and it's 3-1. The best bat-to-ball team in the sport against a not very good defense. Put it in play and reap the benefits.
Yeah, tough play when you have this conversion, and really might have been easier for the second baseman, but Naylor got there and was trying to guide the ball. I don't know if he would have got him anyways.
Vlad Jr. Struck one, lost the bat. This place is going crazy. And the Mariners completely took the air out of the building with that home run from Julio Rodriguez. So important that the Jays get right back up. They did with a double from Springer. And now they've got Vladimir Guerrero Jr. as the tying run already.
Vladdy loves power in the breaking ball department. 21 home runs since last year on breaking pitches.
2 of them against Gilbert. On an 0-1. He jumps out of the way.
What happens when you pitch on short days rest, and it's not as easy as just saying, well, it was a bullpen type session, 34 pitches. You get a little fatigued, and the consistency of your arm speed gets a little bit lagged at times, and I could see that a little bit right now with his release point not being consistent. Not the sharp breaking ball that we're used to seeing, and that splitter that has this gentle tumble. So he'll have to find it soon.
Blue Jays offense looking to come right back to life. 9 runs a game against the Yankees. On this 1-1, Vlad Jr. chops it to short for J.P. Crawford with a heck of a pick for the first out. Wow, what a nifty play by Crawford.
Good base running. As soon as the ball was high chopped, he got to third base. Very productive out. And a very productive play by Crawford. This place, well, the roof's already open, but they would have blown the roof off if that didn't play to get made.
Blue Jays unbeaten in this postseason with the roof open. Major League Baseball makes the decision whether or not to have it open or close, although it was funny that they looked like a totally different team yesterday with the roof closed. And the next day, just about the same temperature, and it's open. Fox Foresight is powered by Google Cloud. This offense leads the majors in runs scored this postseason. When they get 5 on the year, they're 74-5. Google Cloud powers these real-time insights. Edison Barger comes up. Let's go down to Ken Rosenthal.
Well, Joe, Nathan Lucas left last night's game when his knee simply did not feel stable enough to sustain him. He tried every time that he stopped. He completely gave out. So today, after his x-rays came back negative, took some pain medication, a lot of caffeine, and a sleeve on that knee.
John Schneider said, I had a feeling that he wasn't going to let me not play him. He's at third for Barger, who fouls off the first pitch. Sean said that these guys just having so much fun playing in these games. And Lucas, they're going to take a lot more than a ball off his knee to get him out of there. Guy that started the season as the 4th outfielder, now hitting second. Barger fouls it into the dugout. Started the season in AAA, did Addison Barger, after he hit 197 going back and forth as a rookie last year. Look out over there. Woo. Think fast. Infield in for Seattle as the 0-2 comes home. Barger takes outside. Kind of situation the Blue Jays have thrived in this year, getting guys in from third with less than 2 outs.
Got to get him thinking inside at some point in this game. Trying to throw that split away and trying to get the chase. Every hitter has a little bit of a hole on one side of the plate. Inside tight to him is going to be that hole.
On a 2-2, Barger swings and misses at a good splitter from Gilbert for out number 2. Big strikeout there for Logan Gilbert. We talk all about Trey Savage's splitter, but this splitter right here was the best swing and miss pitch of any starter in baseball this year. He pulls it at a good time. Up comes Kirk with a man at third and 2 away. Line drive right center, 3-2 as the Blue Jays have bounced right back. Kirk drives in Lucas. Toronto's already got more runs in game 2 than they had in 9 innings in game 1.
Another mediocre pitch over the plate. You can't do that to this Toronto team. You can only get away with it for so long, and they're going to just own the strike zone. As much as the Seattle Mariners pitching staff owns the strike zone, you cannot be in the middle with your secondary.
Varsha cranks a line drive to right field, but it is right at Victor Robles. Wow, this game explodes out of the gates. 5 runs in the first inning. T-Mobile, the best network in the game, is now the best network in America. As we welcome it back to Canada in a 3-2 game. Mariners trying to take a 2-0 series advantage, 3 wins away from their first trip to the World Series. Well, the rookie Trey Savage tries to settle into this game after giving up 3 in the first.
Yeah, that's a reset inning for him. 8-9-1, and ideally you want to get these 2 guys off the base.
Victor Robles takes strike 1. Trying to do his best Bryce Miller impression after Miller had those 27 pitches in the first inning yesterday and cruised from there. Mariners pitching staff from there average under 10 pitches per inning and got the job done in 100 total.
So far early on, and he got that downward slider, but he hasn't really thrown 3-4 fastballs in a row. So if you get a fastball strike as a Mariner hitter, more than likely you're going to see off speed.
Ball.
Savage's 2-1 is shot to right center field. Lucas, that bad knee comes out and makes the grab. Well, Savage was a first-round pick just last year out of East Carolina and then started this season in A-ball. He stopped at every rung on the ladder, and he said, I feel like I've met pretty much everybody in the organization, haven't stopped everywhere. Didn't get to the big leagues until mid-September, made 3 starts in the regular season. Postseason debut in his 4th major league start. And we were asking John Schneider about that afterwards. Like, be honest, what were you thinking going into that? Crawford shows bunt, takes a strike, and John said, well, yeah, you think that he can do it given what you've seen, but you don't know. You don't know how a guy's going to perform in that setting for the first time. And he said about 2 innings into that game against the Yankees, he looked over at Pete Walker, his pitching coach, and they both gave that look like, oh boy, this kid's got it.
Yeah, he definitely did, and everything about that game was in rhythm, and he would have gone longer, no doubt, but the score gave the luxury to give him some rest.
Yeah, gave him a 12-0 lead. That's one way to make your young pitcher comfortable. Trey said afterwards, this has got to be cloud 9. It was like a scene out of a movie. The kid making the start, addressing the crowd, addressing his parents who were up in the crowd in tears. His dad Dave, his mom Cheryl. Sky high up into that open roof. Says he's got it. So did Clement. Jimenez said it louder and took it. For more on Savage, here's Tom Verducci.
Well, the Mariners are looking at a pitcher they very nearly drafted. Last year, they had him rated in the top 3 or 4 in the draft. They were down to 2 picks, and they had the 15th pick in the draft. 2 college pitchers, both unicorns. Jurangelo Sinche, who was a switch pitcher, throws right and left. And Savage, we talked about his release point. The Blue Jays were behind them at 20. they decided to take Sinche because they were concerned, as were other teams, about the medical reports on Trey Savage. But they could not believe they even had a shot to get him at 15. He became Toronto's pick at 20.
Marlins, Brewers, Rays, Mets also passed on Trey Savage after that 15 slot from Seattle. Ball on a strike on Randy Arozarena. Worked count full his first time, then got hit by a pitch and scored on Rodriguez's home run. One of the things they love about Trey Savage, we talk all about the uniqueness of his delivery, but the demeanor, the persona. He said even before that start last week, I'm built for this. And then he said he went back to his room and he thought to himself, man, I got myself into it here. I better go back that up if I'm talking like that. And boy, did he ever. 2-2 on Arozarena. He's got it in for 3 seconds. Thanksgiving Day in Canada. Game 2 of the American League Championship Series. 2 long suffering franchises head-to-head in Toronto. We're back on Fox after this. Logan Gilbert, one of the best strike throwers in baseball. Blue Jays very aggressive in that first inning. And nobody more aggressive than this guy right here, Ernie Clement. Pops it up down the line and out of play. And some thought that they kind of let the Mariners off of the hook coming in depleted. They were so aggressive yesterday. There were a bunch of quick outs, but John Schneider said, look, that's who we are. We're not going to tell our guys to be something different for one game. And he figured they'd be aggressive again today, and they have. 0-2.
Well, that difference right there and that velocity split finger is a big key. He cannot be afraid to throw your fastball. I mean, he's got 96, 97.
Slaps it into center field, a base hit. He swings at everything, and he makes contact with just about everything as well.
See, that's my point right there about a lot of off-speed pitches, and right now the Blue Jays don't fear his fastball, and they're sitting almost on some off-speed and making the best of it. That was another split finger down. He's going to have to command his fastball a little bit more. I know he doesn't throw a high percentage of it.
Davis Schneider is a late addition to the lineup with Anthony Santander's scratch with lower back tightness. Takes upstairs. And Schneider usually in the lineup against left-handed pitching, even though on the year he spent a heck of a lot better against righties. So falls into a favorable matchup here. On a 1-0 from Gilbert. Schneider half swing, pokes it to first. Naylor thought about it, instead steps on the bag, and the scoring position goes Clement.
Well, here's where you're going to see the difference of the velocity difference and the same pitch being in the split. There's a bigger gap because it's only 81 miles an hour. His splitter floats more than your Savage, and the fastball at 95. Again, that's what a hitter's trying to recognize. But the one thing I could tell you is if you don't throw enough fastballs and you see a ton of off speed, they start blending together and the hitter's got a better chance.
Andres Jimenez fouls it off. And if it seems like everybody's throwing a splitter, there is something to that. That pitch really making a comeback the last couple of years, and especially this year, and especially yesterday's game. 51 splitters thrown in game 1. That's the most on record, and that goes back to 2008. Jimenez, the 9-hitter. Grounds into first. Naylor's got it. Steady feed over to Gilbert. 2 out. Tying run to third. Back to the top of the order in George Springer.
You better get something away off the plate to George Springer. Very aggressive. Saw what he did after hanging a couple off speed pitches in the middle of the zone. He got that double and almost got the home run that he pulled foul.
Started both games in this championship series with a bang. The home run yesterday, the double today. He's got the tying run at third.
Ball, that's all.
Home Run Profile sponsored by Budweiser. Yesterday's home run was the 21st of George Springer's postseason career. That's one shy of Bernie Williams for 4th on the all-time list, past Derek Jeter. Had 5 of them in the World Series in 2017. Reggie Jackson, Chase Utley, George Springer, the guys that hit 5 home runs in the Fall Classic. And honored as the MVP in that 17 World Series with Houston. One of the many ways he's been a leader for this team, passing on what he's learned in all that postseason experience, how to handle this stage. Takes it low. He's ahead 2-1. Jay's trying to take advantage of Clement's leadoff single. On a 2-1 pitch, Springer swings and misses at the high fastball. Swung himself out of his boots there.
Well, they got a bunch of information, and each day and each game is different for a starting pitcher, but that fastball still plays. And I'll reiterate, he's going to have to continue to use that pitch just a little bit more against this team.
Down the line, hooking to the seats and foul.
That too many of those, you're going to have a shorter outing. That pitch floated again.
That's the #1 splitter in baseball this year. Just has not looked right yet.
No, it's just coming out and just kind of just sitting there like almost a knuckleball, but not having the effect of it. Turns into a very hittable fastball.
George knows they had one to hit there. See what he gets on 2-2. Back to the fastball, and he got squeezed. Whew. I'm with you, Logan.
Well, if you knew you were going to have your best slider, this is the time to throw it off of that pitch, because the heat on that outside corner, taking it and at the mercy of the umpire's call, Springer will have to make a quick decision on a pitch away.
Springer with a chance to tie it with 2 gone in the second. It is a fastball, and we'll do it again. The 36-year-old in his 12th year in the major leagues. The man at third, 2 away. The 8th pitch coming from Logan Gilbert to George Springer.
Ball, that's
Backed
in.
up, ball 4. First walk issued by Gilbert.
Yeah, this is where the slider has been, and it's actually, it doesn't have a ton of spin on it, which reason why it's not breaking as much. And when you're not throwing it glove side off of your fastball, the hitter has a chance.
So now it's 2 on and 2 out for Lucas, who on that sore knee had an infield hit his first time, and it was thrown away by the first baseman Josh Naylor, led to the first run. Tying run at third, go ahead run at first. Springer led the team in stolen bases on the year, not going. Takes a strike.
Well, in this game, if they're getting the right personnel on bases, they're going to take some stolen bases against a longer delivery. Now, Gilbert has his slide step, but he's given up a lot of stolen bases.
Ball.
Ball and a strike. Lucas muscles one up the middle, and they've tied it. Springer goes first to third. Lucas knocks in another. off of the deck and tied up at 3. Nathan Lucas just keeps on giving them big hits. 6 runs batted in this postseason for Lucas. Today, stuff in the stat sheet. He's got 2 hits. He's got a run scored. He's got a run knocked in. And this Blue Jays offense returning to form. First and third for Vlad Jr.
Well, it's not too early for me to say this will be the biggest at bat for Gilbert. And he's just not had his swing and miss type stuff. I mean, only 3 missed swings, and that's coming from 23 swings. So that tells you that he hasn't been crisp. He's got to find a way to get this superstar out and then reset the mind and give his team a chance to get back in the dugout at a tie game.
Not a comfy spot to not have a feel for it. Facing this guy. Takes outside, ball 1. Jays are down 3-0 after a half inning. Looking for the lead in the second. 2-0. How aggressive are you trying to get back into the zone here? Barger on deck.
Yeah, I mean you're not going to be too aggressive. He'll probably rely on an off-speed pitch here. He's not turning the corner and not finishing that pitch, and sometimes it's just not there. That slider has not been there. Now it's not even almost worth throwing to him. 3-0.
You know Vlad Jr. would be happy to take a inside corner. 3-1.
Another one that backed up. Better off throwing a split finger right here if he's going to go with something off speed other than a fastball.
On a 3-1 pitch. And the moment disengages. They became the first team to win a game in the postseason on 100 pitches or fewer in 7 years in Game 1. 41 in the first 2 innings today. Swing and a miss at the elevated fastball, and it's 3-2. Two singles and a walk in the inning. Springer at third, Lucas at first. The fans watching their favorite, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. trying to give the Jays the lead. Here's a payoff, and it's fouled off.
Only the change of speeds. It wasn't the location. Only the change of speeds there fooled Vladdy.
Another 3-2 and another foul ball on another splitter. Guerrero had 9 hits in the division series. 0 for 5 so far in the championship series. Gilbert to try it again. 3-2. Guerrero sends it foul down the line. On and on it goes.
Guerrero is trying to wait as long as he can to pull the trigger right. He's been fighting off a couple pitches. After the split fingers twice he fouled off. He was able to foul off a really good fastball that beat him.
Gilbert, the #1 swing and miss pitcher in the majors, trying to put him away. His 9th pitch of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is bounced up the middle to Polanco. Takes his time and throws him out. But the Blue Jays have tied the game with 2 in the first and 1 in the second. Hectic first couple innings in game 2. Nathan Lucas has scored a run and driven in a run. This game's tied at 3 as we go to the 3rd. Cal Raleigh leads it off for Seattle. Yeah, and cranks first one he sees way up there to right field. Speaking of Lucas, he's got it. 1 pitch, 1 out for Trey Savage.
Well, again, just to show you how different these two guys are. There's the split finger and the depth of which it moves, and then there's a split finger and the release of which it moves. Now watch it together and you're going to see quite different height and quite different movement, and that is what hitters are faced with right now when a guy is on. It all really still and starts and ends with fastball command, and if they got good fastball command, this is the release you're looking for as a hitter, saying, can I see the difference? Is there any variation that tips something? And if there isn't,
ball, that's down.
You better not miss a pitch in the zone.
2-0 on Rodriguez.
Right now the strike zone is more favorable to a hitter's liking than a pitcher's liking.
Yeah, there have been a couple calls on the outside corner to each team's leadoff hitter that looked like strike 3, wound up not being.
Ball, that's off.
Both guys wound up reaching and leading to a run. He had a Rosarena in the first inning, then Springer in the second took a walk on after what looked like should have been strike 3.
I say 3-0 green light right here.
For the guy that put Seattle on the board with a home run, here he takes a walk. And Rodriguez has been on base 5 times over the first game plus of this series. So man aboard for Jorge Polanco, and our player profile sponsored by Liberty Mutual. Game-winning hit, back-to-back games for Polanco. He's the first guy to do that in the postseason for the Mariners since Edgar Martinez in 1995. Now one of his hitting coaches. Ground ball, Sharper to second. Clement will go to second for 1, and that's all they'll get.
It's not that easy of a play by Clement. He had to bobble it just a little bit, and the throw to second gets a little dicier as the runner gets a little closer. Watch this. He cleans right here. A little bobble to his hand, and then the angle to the shortstop in a good spot so it doesn't interfere with the runner.
Clement is graded out as one of the top fielders in baseball this year. They give away a utility Gold Glove, and he's got a good case to win it. Naylor pokes his first one foul. Mariners getting their second look at Trey Savage. Didn't take him long to do damage against Savage. You know, the thing that makes you worry about a guy like Trey Savage, his lack of experience, is also the thing that at this point seems to be the biggest advantage. So different, and these guys are all seeing him for the first time. Off the end of the bat to center field. Here comes Varsho. It'll dunk in front of him for a base hit. It's a case where you're happy you got it off at the end. It settles into center field, and they've got him cornered 2 away.
He had a decent break on this ball, but a big swing off the end of the bat is probably the one that fools the center fielder more than anybody. That direct on line looks like it's going to go farther than it does. But I thought live he had a pretty good read, and so the ball just wasn't going to be caught.
Mariners have him at first and third. 2 gone in this 3rd inning for Suarez. Could come up with a big hit for the Mariners. You know, what has been a quiet postseason. On a line to center field. Varsho back at first. Comes on, dives, and makes the catch. Oh, man, he saved himself after going the wrong direction with the first step. And the Gold Glove center fielder keeps this a 3-3 game. Barger, Kirk, and Varsho coming up for the Blue Jays in a 3-3 game, 3rd inning. Logan Gilbert, a one-of-a-kind delivery. Roxon fires high and away for a ball.
The momentum has severely changed in this game. Down 3-0. The crowd was out of it. Now they're back. And a guy who gets the first batter out of an inning at a high clip has not been able to do that yet. And that is that's a troublesome thing for Mr. Gilbert going against this team.
The leadoff man has reached in both innings and coming to score both innings. He gets more swing and miss than anybody in baseball, but this Blue Jays lineup swings and misses less than any other, and only 4 swings and misses over the first 2 innings.
That's what I've loved about about this series, and the things that each team is good at is going to meet head on, and whoever can execute better obviously is going to win. And it's a great cat and mouse game of hitter strengths and pitcher strengths.
Yeah, because collectively, this Seattle pitching staff, it's not just Gilbert, the whole staff pounds the strike zone.
They do, and they all have unique ways of getting you out when they're all on their regular rest and feeling like they can do their thing. Now, that's what made yesterday so impressive. Today, you can make an argument he's been impacted by that 34 or so pitches he made a couple days ago. That gets you out of whack a little bit, and the delivery and the execution has not been as good as it needs to be.
Well, the whole goal for Seattle coming into these 2 games, given what you're talking about, the load they had to carry in the 5-game series and on Friday night, was get one of these 2 games house money for them, and that they got last night's game, because then you get the off day and they're going to be lined up on regular rest in Seattle. George Kirby game 3, Luis Castillo in game 4. And we asked Dan Wilson what's the plan for Brian Wu, who threw a simulated game today. Doesn't sound like he's necessarily going to start a game, maybe a couple innings in relief, but whatever he gives him, it's not going to be a full normal Brian Wu outing. Barger bouncer to second, Polanco. The point is the staff gets reset once you get through today.
Yeah, and honestly, today was going to be that game. Now, they didn't show it in the first inning, but that game where the wearing out of that adrenaline and the travel, quick turnaround. They won yesterday's game and it got a quick turnaround. So all those things come into play. And I've always said that your pitcher can kind of dictate what that feeling is going to be like for your ball club. If he comes out sharp as his tack, you're going to have a little energy.
Alejandro Kirk swats it to right field. Floated up there for Robles to run under. 2 out in this 3rd inning, and MLB Together is baseball's platform embodying the sport's commitment to philanthropic causes and mental wellness efforts by teams, players, and the league. To learn more, visit MLBtogether.com. It's an old baseball cliche, right? Momentum is the next day's starting pitcher.
Sure is. And you got one of the hottest, biggest storylines coming in for the Toronto Blue Jays, and boom, boom, boom. It's 3-0. But just like I said, and I feel the same way if I were on the mound, 3 runs is not going to beat me. So if I can hold the fort, this offense give them a chance to get going. They did. And we're back to square one.
Dalton Varsho saved the day with a diving catch last inning. And now looking for his first hit of this series after he had 7 of those in the division series against the Yankees. First couple years in Toronto, Gold Glove center fielder, but below average offense. This year, when he was healthy, top 10 in the league in slugging. On a 1-1 from Gilbert, Varsho takes a ball. First 3 seasons spent with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Came over in a trade for Lourdes Gurriel and Gabby Moreno before the 23 season. 29-year-old from Chile, Wisconsin, where it's cold. Fouls it off, 2-2. Gilbert looking for his first clean inning of the day. It's gone full on Varsho.
You never want to give up on a pitch, but you can't let a pitch beat you if it isn't working. So you pick spots in situations where you know you can't get beaten. Right now, that slider is that pitch for Gilbert.
See what he goes with on this 3-2 to Varsho. Got him swinging with a slider that was not where he wanted it, but he'll take the result.
ago. Dan Wilson, Mariners manager, kind enough to join us. You just watched Logan Gilbert get through that last inning without traffic. But what have you seen so far? From how close are you watching, especially with the secondaries?
Yeah, we're definitely watching it, and good to get through that one right there. A couple base runners on, a couple of hits that were able to fall in. So, good to get through that last one for sure.
Against you, Savage, a guy you haven't seen before. 5 balls hit already, 95 plus. How do you like the execution of the game plan?
Yeah, at bats have been good, and we continue to make the adjustments. Hit a couple balls hard there that just didn't find holes, but like the way the guys have approached it.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Tom.
Dominic Canzone leads off this inning against his Savage. Misses high, 1 ball, 1 strike. We're talking about how much the splitter gave the Yankees fits, but it's been the fastball that's gotten the majority of the outs for him today.
Yeah, he hasn't had the perfect feel for the splitter, so the fastball needed to be better and play better, and it has.
Canzone to second. Clement down to a knee to get it for the first out.
Because there's not a lot of movement on it, it's the angle that he throws that fastball that really gives the hitter a little bit of an issue. When you have movement, that's the one thing you want, but if you don't have movement, you want a different look to the fastball, and they have to protect against that off-speed pitches that when he's on. You see only 11 strikeouts against the Yankees in just over 5 innings.
Robles sends the first one foul, and the Mariners, after a very patient approach the first time through the order, been more aggressive this second time. Their first time through the lineup, that was as patient, just when you're looking at number of swings per number of pitches, as they've been at any point all year. This is a really aggressive bunch.
Ball, that's down.
Maybe something to that idea we were talking about. Can you wait him out a little bit, force him into the strike zone? And that first inning, hit by pitch, walk, 3-run home run from Julio Rodriguez, have not scored since. 1-2 on Robles.
Seattle's probably, they haven't scored many games over 3 runs, and yet they're in this position because their pitching has held the opponents under 3 runs.
They only won out of their first 6 games in the postseason. More than 3. 1-2 pitch. Robles takes. Oh boy. 2-2, and Doug Eddings not making good buddies with either of these pitchers. 4 pitching coaches. The kid showing something else tonight, though. Cruised against the Yankees, got punched in the mouth right away today, and has bounced back.
Yeah, he has. He's bounced back and held him right there, and that's what you have to do. There's nowhere to go, nowhere to hide in the postseason.
Well, when the Jays met with him before the draft, they asked him what he considered his biggest strength to be. Instead of talking about the splitter or the arm angle, he mentioned his fearlessness, and he said, quote, "You can put me up against 2 grizzly bears, and I'm not afraid."
Well, you need to have that mindset.
But okay, Trey, we get it. 5 balls, center field, Varsho. 2 up and 2 down in the 4th. Tonight in prime time, the National League Championship Series gets underway. The Dodgers send Blake Snell to the mound against the Brewers in Game 1 on TBS, and then tomorrow, Game 2 of that series, we travel to Seattle. Game 3 will be on Wednesday. Coverage starting at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on FS1. Aaron Ashby going to be the opener of that game, and Blake Snell coming off 6 scoreless, 1-hit innings against the Phillies. A sub-1 ERA his last 5 starts. J.P. Crawford with 2 gone in this 4th inning. And the Brewers won all 6 head-to-head matchups against the Dodgers during the regular season.
That's shocking. I know it's timing and everything, but still, I think the Brewers are. Don't they have 3 10-game winning streaks in the season, which is unheard of?
Ball, that's down.
Yeah, and as streaky of a year as anybody, they were there on the good side of that. Those long winning streaks. They, like the Seattle Mariners, trying to win their first World Series. Founded in 1969, do not have a title yet. Fly to left. Schneider's over to the corner. And it's a 1-2-3 4th inning for Trey Savage. Welcome back to the 2025 American League Championship Series on Fox, presented by Loan Depot. It's a 3-3 game to the bottom of the fourth. Ernie Clement to lead things off, and into the bullpen goes Dan Wilson already. Edward Bizzardo, who's been a horse for him. First pitch swinging, Clement down the line, but foul. Bizzardo pitched in all 5 games of the division series, and he finished it off, John, by going 2 2/3 in Game 5.
Yeah, he was unbelievable, and really had to extend himself. And I think this is a really good move. I don't think Logan Gilbert obviously had his best stuff, and risking a couple more innings through this lineup just was not in the cards. And now we have the relievers to finish it out.
Clement swings even when he doesn't want to swing. It's 0-2. But he's been doing it since he was a little kid. His grandparents got him a plastic golf set, 1 or 2 years old, knew how to swing it. And then there was a wooden bat laying around the house. That's how he got his first accent, with a full-size wooden bat. Dribbled in play, Raleigh to first, in time. Cal Raleigh able to get Clement on that swinging bunt, and Cal wincing. Oh no.
Man, this was some kind of play, coming from the dirt and going to the turf. And you can tell he is not feeling it. What a play, though. Remember, he has caught every inning and put his body through stuff you just cannot understand. To catch 15 innings in a postseason game, travel over here, be the heart and soul of your club offensively, and then you hope he just, it's a small tweak.
Yeah, I mean, this is everything for the Mariners, and you hope as a baseball fan that he's okay. This postseason's not as good without Cal Raleigh in it.
They earn their money back there. I know his teammates, you love to give catchers grief, but deep down you realize what an incredible role it is.
Davis Schneider fouling off the first pitch. Raleigh chugging over there to the dugout, even though it's out of play. He just has no stop in him.
Well, we don't follow the catcher every single time, but when a play is made by the left side of the infield, they're running to first base. They're throwing the ball back, is not as hard, but equally as much as the pitcher. They're obviously involved. They got to get pop-ups. They got to do so many different things, not to mention plays at the plate. So to get 60-some home runs out of a guy that does all that is why I think that the MVP race should be a little different.
You would vote for Cal
I
Raleigh?
would, and Aaron Judge is one of my favorite people to watch play the game. Aaron Judge had what would normally be a no-brainer MVP season, but if Cal Raleigh's numbers were any other position other than catcher, that's where I give the but, because of what he has to do and because of the intense draw on his body and his legs and every single thing he has to do from calling pitches. I just think it's a different category in the year that he put together.
Bizzardo's 1-2. Schneider takes strike 3. 2 gone in the fourth.
And like I said, if he was a left fielder or a shortstop and had these numbers, hands down Aaron Judge.
Isn't it fitting that he's named partially after Cal Ripken Jr.? He's one of his dad's favorite guys, and named his son Cal. And even though Ripken was pretty much done playing when Cal was a young kid, he still adopted him as his favorite player. And with the Iron Man in him, that's something that made an impression. And that he is a modern version of with what he does with the catching. Strike on Jimenez. Seattle bullpen last night, 9 up, 9 down. Bizzardo's retired the first 2 that he's faced today.
That sinker he throws is nasty. They're only hitting about 158. The league is off of it. It's got great late movement, and then you mix in that slider that goes the other way, and you got 2 lanes for the hitters that got to be concerned with. Ideally, when you're facing a left-hander, you've got that Maddox-like sinker, but at 96, and then you've got a breaking ball that'll come back away from that sinker. Those are the two lanes I'm talking about that a hitter has to cover on the plate.
Fly the other way. Sends Rosarena back, shy of the warning track, and the bullpen perfect in this series. That's now 13 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings for the Seattle bullpen. Is Cal okay after he makes this play? We're going to find out for sure because he's due up second when you come back after word from your local Fox station.
Just ask Siri. What team has the most World Series titles?
Back here in Toronto on a beautiful Monday afternoon. Beautiful Canadian Thanksgiving. At the top of the order for Seattle, and Randy Rosarena bounces one up the middle. Andres Jimenez throws it away and into the camera well. Rosarena gets second to lead off this inning. Jimenez, a Gold Glover who had a chance at a play and certainly had a chance to do more than he did right there. And that ball hit Suarez. I hope he's just playing around. Jeez. He got me.
Yeah, this ball with the speed of Rosarena, I think he was going to beat it out no matter what. And you got to get out of the way. What if that kept it in the field? You know?
Yeah.
Now he's moved back.
He's looking at him like, dang, man. So it's ruled a infield hit with an E6 that allows him to advance to second. That's supposed to be.
I think what they're discussing is the ball hitting Suarez, and maybe maybe they're going to determine if that would have been a ball that is deemed in play. We'll see. That's what they're discussing, I believe. It's certainly not about dinner tonight.
Although there would be time for it.
There would be a time.
Although I think that it's guaranteed that it's turkey tonight.
Yep.
Maple glazed.
So this ball gets by, and then watch right there. It's clearly going to go in the dugout. Right? But it hits him. And he's down.
And cooling him off, making sure he's okay.
Ryan.
John Schneider over there talking with the crew chief Alfonso Marquez.
Either way, Rosarena finally got on that first pitch, and he's on base, and his electricity is what the Mariners need.
Toronto is challenging the call that the ball was out of play.
It's worth doing it, but I don't think this is one you're going to get any luck with.
Replay reviews presented by Zoom in New York.
You know what would be cool in that room? I know Rick would love it. We'd go watch a lot of football on Saturday and then NFL on Sunday. You think they have games in that replay room?
Wouldn't it be fun if we looked up there and yeah. Tom, are you getting any, you hearing anything in the details of what they're looking at here?
I think they're just trying to determine whether that top step of the dugout is in play or not. It doesn't matter if the ball is going out of play. Does it hit a player who's not active in that play while he's technically on the field? I'm not sure what the local ground rule here is as far as whether that top step of the dugout, which is beyond the warning track, is part of live play or
After
not.
review, the call is confirmed. The ball was out of play. Therefore, Toronto will lose the challenge and has one remaining.
We got our answer right there. Call is confirmed. And Rosarena will be at second base as the go-ahead run to open this inning. And it is Cal Raleigh at the plate. Man, oh man, an exhale for Mariners fans and baseball fans that he's still in there after he was in pain following that play that he made in the bottom of the fourth. They're going to put him on. And John Schneider said yesterday, I think about it every time he comes up. Every situation's different, but with first base open here,
that is
put the big dumper on.
Tremendous respect. You think about this. We're in a playoff situation, and you're walking the guy that owns your stadium, and now first and second, nobody out, and we're going to give change.
So both bullpens going to play a large role in this ball game. And the fans not happy to see John Schneider coming out here. Julio Rodriguez took him deep in the first inning. Has not given up a run since. Won't face him again. Louis Varlin is on to replace Trey Savage. 2 on. And Julio Rodriguez at the plate taking a strike. Varlin pitched a scoreless 7th inning yesterday. He almost gave up the home run to Eugenio Suarez, but it bounced off the top of the wall, became a double, and he stranded him at third. Rodriguez, who has the big swing of this game, a 3-run home run in the first inning. It was 3-0 Seattle before Trey Savage got the first out. Nothing since then, though.
Good fastball hitter down, and first 2 pitches were sliders. Was good with fastballs away.
Fastball right there gets a swing and a miss. And out against Bauer.
Up is where you can get them. And that was a really, really good, powerful fastball. And taking a minute for Julio to let that sink in. He's like, whoa. Start the engines a little sooner.
1-2. Rodriguez lays off this time. Try to get him to chase the same thing.
Great pitch and actually a great take. I mean, the two usually don't exist.
And Julio has looked more and more steady and settled and dialed in. On this 2-2. Takes a leg down the middle for strike 3. Looking for something else right there. Retired for the first time today.
I mean, this is just center cut gasoline.
So forget what I said about more and more dialed in. Takes it right down the chute. For the first out of the 5th, it brings up Polanco. Here's the guy that the Mariners have wanted up in this situation. 6 hits in this postseason. 5 of them have knocked in a run.
Ball.
Game has found him, as it often does in the postseason. When you pitch around the big guys, tends to funnel to the guys like this, lurking there between the superstars. Rosarena at second, Raleigh at first. Polanco fouls it off, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, Polanco, you talked about cutting down the strikeouts. He's cut down his swing and miss and making more contact, which is the reason his year has been so much better. Now, Rosarena is getting a bigger lead each time on each pitch, trying to figure out the timing.
Shot to right center field. Varsho on the run. He's at the track. He's at the wall. It's gone. It's Polanco again. Jorge Polanco is owning October for the Mariners. He's given them a 6-3 lead.
When we see this replay, you're going to see one of the prettiest swings to the ball, short and in the zone. You cannot have a huge swing against a velocity fastball like Varlin's. And a guy who has transformed his year, healthy with his knee. Look at this swing. This is so perfect on a pitch that's in the zone that left the field.
Naylor grounds it foul. Wow.
That is a wow. 2 3-run homers. And the team with the most power between the two teams, Seattle, flexing it. Come on now. With that dangerous weapon in the dugout.
Yeah, right. Dangerous bats and then really dangerous celebration weapon. Naylor wincing a little bit after taking this ball. You know, the postseason makes names like Eddie Rosario and Steve Pearce and guys that are good players during the regular season, but they're not guys you write headlines about. And now Jorge Polanco, the latest of the names, not from obscurity, but certainly not from stardom, to emerge when the games matter most and the games find them. Game finds him and he's come through. He's been ready for those moments.
Ball.
And Naylor's in a lot of pain here. When he's showing that, you know he's hurting. This is one of the tough guys. For more on Polanco, here's Kenny.
Well, Joe, the interest in Polanco last offseason was so muted that his agent, Ulysses Cabrera, asked the surgeon who operated on Polanco's left knee, Daniel Cooper, to write a letter that he could forward to every club. In the letter, Cooper confirmed that Polanco was recovering well from his surgery, left knee, and he cleared him to advance to heavy strength training and a progression to all baseball skills. It took until February 3rd, but Polanco finally signed with the Mariners on a one-year, $7.75 million deal that now looks like a bargain.
And a lot of Mariners fans at that time were probably saying, really, we're bringing him back? He had about 200 last year. It was a failure of a first year coming over from Minnesota. That knee repaired. You mentioned the improvement in strikeouts. He's cut his strikeout rate more than any hitter in baseball history from year to year. #1 two-strike hitter in the majors as they continue to take a look at Josh Naylor. He's back in there for this 2-2 pitch. 6-3 Mariners on a pair of 3-run home runs. Varland's 2-2. Naylor's down swinging. And the Mariners maybe have a concern here with their first baseman dealing with something physically. As we look back at Polanco's home run.
I mean, it is center cut, but then not missed. There's a lot of guys will miss pitches by having too big of a swing.
Strike on Suarez.
Or their bat angle trying to launch. Gets
Speaking
underneath
of
it.
somebody.
Yeah.
Suarez as many home runs, but as many strikeouts as anybody. The 0-2. Suarez takes strike 3. Fastball to the corner. Jorge Polanco, man oh man, making a name for himself this October. Doing it to his old Twins teammate right here, Louis Varland. He's broken the tie. 2 home runs against Skubal in the division series. He ends the epic Game 5, and he's broken the tie in Game 2 of the championship series.
Welcome back to Rogers Center here with Blue Jays manager John Schneider. John, a lot going on that inning. Let's go through your decision making with your Savage.
Yeah, you know, I think kind of with just looking at his pitch count, you know, I thought he was throwing the ball fine. You know, just kind of one bad pitch to Julio in the first. He's, you know, it's a tough one with his splits, left, right. You know, just with Cal getting there, you know, with the base open, wanted to get Louis right there at Julio, got the job done, and then made, you know, not a bad pitch, a decent pitch to Polanco, and he got him. But still got all the confidence in the world in Louis to come in and get the job done. Just didn't work out right there.
The challenge. What was your thinking on that?
Yeah, I was just checking with Alfonso. The ball hit Gino up there, who's in play. You know, I just said, hey, if it hit him first, does he go back to first? And he said yes. So I challenged, and then afterwards they said if they deemed it was going to go in the dugout anyway, the call is going to stand. So just a little bit of get fair.
Smothered by Naylor.
A little bit of miscommunication there, I guess, with me and Fonzie.
Okay, finally, Jorge Polanco. How do you stop him?
Man, he's having a, you know, we were just saying he's having a good last month or so. You know what I mean? He's a good hitter. When you're kind of circling guys in their lineup, you know, I said it before the series, you kind of have to circle almost everybody. You know, so like anyone, you gotta kind of execute your pitches. You know, big league hitters are gonna make you pay if you don't. But he's having a good start to the series.
John, thanks a lot. Joe, back to you.
All right, guys, what a play right there by Josh Naylor. Coming off what we just saw, it looked like he was hurting his last time up there. The diving stop to get George Springer for the first out of the 5th. Nathan Lucas yet to retire him today. He's got 2 hits, a run scored, and a run knocked in. This looked like it had eyes for right field, but Naylor was there.
Great play. And again, so much changes with that play. You got the rally of a guy on and the top of the lineup. And this crowd that's been taken out again by another 3-run homer. The longer the Jays don't get their lead off and get some runners on, which is where they're so dangerous, the better it is for Seattle.
Lucas sharply hitting through, and he's 3 for 3. 24 hours ago was the question if he was going to play again with how hard he hit that ball off his knee, leaving no doubt today. Jays trying to bounce back again. Came back from 3-0 very quickly with 2 in the first and 1 in the second. Looking to get Vladimir Guerrero Jr. going after his monster division series. 0 for 6 in the CS.
Hey! And again, I know it may not be a big thing to most people, but there's not going to be any right-handed or left-handed starting pitching in this series. So all these hitters are going to see a lot of right-handers. And sometimes, you know, when Vlad was getting to a great start, he saw left-handed pitchers, and then the ball looked like a softball.
Bizardo ahead of him 0-2. Already fires. Swats it alive. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. still just 1 strikeout this entire postseason. Lucas at first, 1 away. Bizardo's 0-2 pitch. Ball. The Lucas base hit, by the way, the first base runner against the Seattle Pen in these 2 games. In the 5th inning, they've worked. The 1-2, Guerrero just barely gets a piece.
What a great pitch, and show you how good Guerrero is at the plate to get a piece of this pitch.
As a kid, he practiced hitting bottle caps with a broomstick. That hand-eye coordination. His dad would practice hitting rocks with a spoon. 1-2.
Well, that's off. No.
Checks a swing, and it's 2-2.
Now, I don't know if they would do that in this situation, but the inside part of the plate is now wide open. Everything has been away, and he's fouled it or either made it look like he wanted to go after it.
Softly hit. Bizardo bare hands and guns it to first for out number 2. Good boy, Bizardo calmly and coolly makes the play.
Saw where Cal was set up inside on that pitch, trying to get the sinker in. He got it over the middle, but got the out in a very precarious way.
Yeah, like it's nothing. Bizardo for 4 years was up and down between the major leagues and the minor leagues. Bounced from the Red Sox to the Orioles to the Mariners. Here he comes to Barger, fouls it off, and he was just around league average when he was up there. He dealt with injuries along the way, but nothing to write home about. This year at the age of 30, Bizardo went 5-0 with a 2.52 and was extra dominant down the stretch. Leaning on him a ton in this postseason. There's 0-1 to Barger.
Well, that's in.
It's because he has that pitch. That pitch right there has tremendous late movement. They call that a front door sinker against a left-handed hitter, and what that idea is, you want to have that pitch come in the front door and catch the strike zone, and he almost did right there.
Barger, who hit 21 home runs during the regular season, yet to connect in the postseason. Big swing and a foul, and it's 1-2. Today's telecast is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Step up to the plate for savings. The sun has gone down on this Monday night in Toronto. Roof open with the temperature down into the high 50s. Beautiful night for baseball. It's downtown buzzing. Will the Mariners escape here, though, with a 2-0 lead? It's been nearly insurmountable when the road team has gathered that. The 1-2 pitch almost hit him.
Don't give the examples.
I won't. I'll just tell you that 3 times the team has come back after falling behind 2-0. Losing those 2 at home. Lucas at second, 2-2 to the plate. Top back to the mound, and another play for Bizzardo. It's another scoreless inning for him. Play the Fox Super 6 MLB Playoff Challenge. Download the Fox Sports app right now and enter for free for a shot to win your share of $10,000 in cash prizes. See the Fox Sports app for details. In a 6-3 game and a pair of 3-run home runs, the Mariners try to take a 2-0 series lead back to Seattle. Mitch Garver pinch hits for Dominic Canzone with the left-hander Mason Fluharty on to pitch. With the last 2 outs of the 8th inning yesterday, left-handed rookie out of Delaware comes home, and Garver fouls it back 0-2. Garver won a World Series with the Rangers a couple years ago and was a huge part of that. Drove in 14 runs in that run to the championship. If the Rangers get their first title, trying to do the same for the Mariners. And an 0-2 from Fluharty. Fouls it off.
I'm good.
He got his first start of the postseason in the 5th game of the division series and had a sacrifice fly against Derek Skubal for their first run.
Yeah, go get him, kid. Here's your first start. Go get Skubal.
Fly to center field. Varsho twists around, retreats some more to the wall, and it's off the wall. It kept on flying. Garver does as well. He's at third with a leadoff triple. Wow. They're saying drive the bus, old man. 34-year-old Mitch Garver with a pinch hit triple to start the 6th.
Well, the roof is open, and it played some tricks here a little bit on Varsho. He had 2 different routes, so you wonder how much that ball. Look at the route there, and then he turns again, and he sees that going the other way. And had he had a direct route, probably would have caught this up against the wall. But this ball played some tricks in the air.
Get out, get out, get out!
Comes in for the Jays as Robles swings and misses. Garver hadn't had a triple in 6 years. He got one the first week of September. He gets another one right here. Mariners try to tack on. Robles down 0-2. They're loving it over there. Everybody getting involved. Julio's saying, I see ya. I like the speed. You're trying to do your best. Me. Fluharty looking for a K. Ball. Robles just trying to get it in play. 1 for 6 in this championship series. The Mariners have not won a title. You got a few guys on this roster that have. Robles one of them. To third, and Barger. One away.
The little things that you never know how the series will play out. You've got to get the run in with man on third, nobody out. And that was a hard hit ball, but right at the third baseman.
One of the heroes of Friday night's Game 5 comes into pinch run here. Leo Rivas pinch running for Garver, who's done his job.
And I'll say it again. The safety squeeze is indefensible. Don't think we're going to see it here. But left on left would be your best chance for Crawford. He's got a good eye.
Infield stays in for the Jays. Fluharty comes home. Crawford takes inside, ball 1. Crawford looking for his first hit of the championship series. He's seen pretty much nothing but four-seam fastballs. Seattle's 9-hitter. Fouls it off, 1-1. Well, but they've been able to cover up the lack of situational hitting by hitting the ball out of the park. It's a good way to cure any ills. The 1-1 pitch. Downstairs, ball 2.
Yeah, it's rare. I mean, I'm sure there's been many occasions that I'm not aware of, but to get 2 3-run homers in a postseason game is huge. Homers are king in the postseason, I get it, but 3-run homers.
Well, when you out-homer your opponent in the postseason this year, 16-4. For the Mariners, half of the runs this year scored via the home run. Only the Yankees got a larger percentage of the runs that way. When they failed a homer, 13-29 this year. Game 5 of the championship of the division series was the first time in nearly a month that they had won a game without a home run. Don't have that problem today. 3-2 on Crawford. Top of the order on Arozarena next. Look, in a perfect world, you have both. You have contact and power. But if you have to pick one, recent history tells you power is what you should pick. Fouled off, and he stays alive. Well, all kinds of fireworks early in this game. 3 batters into the game. It was 3-0 Seattle on the Rodriguez home run, but the Blue Jays bounced back quickly. 2 in the first, 1 in the second to tie it. The tie was broken by Jorge Polanco. You can put that in an easy button the last few days. He's had all the big hits for the Mariners. Another 3-2 to Crawford. Flips it into left center field. It's down for a base hit to score Rivas. Crawford does what the situation calls for. Puts it in play with 2 strikes and brings him in. 7-3 Seattle.
And I would say you're right about the power, but if you strike out way too much, that's the equalizer. Putting the ball in play, getting the runs in when they're out there to be had, that will go a long way for the Seattle Mariners as they try to navigate their first trip to the World Series.
Coming to the day 3 wins away from accomplishing that and leading Toronto 7-3. Fluharty's finish with a righty coming up. Given we got to celebrate accordingly. John, they even gave us
be careful
utensils.
With that. Don't let me have it.
Call a championship series game and carve a turkey at the same time. Strike on Randy Arozarena. You know there's a way you're supposed to do this. Don't do it how you cut it like that and then only one person gets the skin. No, you have to cut the whole breast.
Excellent.
Thanks. Arozarena fouls it off. Are you not impressed, folks? It's not going to be perfect. Trying to also do the job they pay me to do, but you're going to get the idea here. Do we have a plate? I don't want to use my score sheet because now I have to slice it.
Kind of mesmerized.
Maybe I just. Arozarena takes down and away. I have note cards. We set it down. Nope, I have a plate. Plate just appeared. So you got the whole breast. You've cut there, and now you do this, and everybody
gets to enjoy.
Gets a little bit of skin. All right.
Fantastic.
Here. Fisher's out of the pen here.
We get turkey twice.
Yeah, we do. We get to celebrate Thanksgiving twice.
That's what I'm saying.
Full of gratitude. Arozarena takes in the dirt, and it's 2-2. Thanksgiving celebrates the fall harvest just like it does in the States, but the cooler climate up here that just happens earlier. So the second Monday in October each year, Thanksgiving here in Canada. 2-2 on Randy Arozarena. Fisher deals. Strike 3 on the outside corner. 2 out. How is it?
Turkey's outstanding.
Looks like it's decently moist.
No, it's outstanding.
Yeah. Check it out. Here, for you at home. You know, you get dry turkey. This is not that.
No, not at all.
Money shot. It's pretty juicy. Oh, yeah. Come on in here. Raleigh sends one down the line. Foul. Send a couple of these over to Dan Schulman and Buck Martinez, our friends next door. Sportsnet call up here in Canada. And by a couple, I mean, this is like a 25-pound turkey. We're going to need some help.
Good thing the commercial breaks are longer because I'm chowing down the commercial break.
Are you more of a breast or leg meat guy?
Breast.
Okay. We did that right. Get ready, boys. Get a whole turducken coming your way. 1-2 on Raleigh after homering yesterday. Has walked twice today, scored both times. Braden Fisher out of the Blue Jays bullpen. Home to the big dumper with a 1-2 pitch. In the dirt. Checked his swing. 2-2. Now the sequence in that 5th inning. Rosarena had the infield hit. The air on Jimenez opened up first base for them to put Raleigh on. Rodriguez struck out, but then got Polanco to the plate. The domino effect of that air. Randy enjoys some grapes for Thanksgiving. Help lead to Polanco's 3-run shot. Swing and a miss by Raleigh, and the inning is over. But the Mariners tack on, and we enjoy some Thanksgiving turkey. You need more?
Yeah, going in here.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. No matter where you are. Back with our call to the bullpen, sponsored by AT&T. It's a nice chance to get Carlos Vargas some work. He has really struggled lately, but the Mariners with a 7-3 lead. Everybody, their high leverage arms have had to work lately. Kirk leads off and takes a strike. What a nice luxury for them. Of course, you have the off day coming tomorrow, but perhaps to not have to use every last drop from your top guys here.
Yeah, that would be huge, and still a lot of work to do against a great offense that can put a crooked number up. This guy's got a live arm. Fastball cutter, and you see what the Mariners bullpen has done. Some yeoman's work.
A couple scoreless innings from Bizardo. That's 14 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings back to the midway point of Game 5. Penn, you don't hear as much about the rotation, but really this whole pitching staff is what makes the Mariners scary.
Yeah, you know, you can make, well, if the Dodgers are perfectly healthy, they may have the best 1 through 12 or 13, but they haven't been. I would make an argument that these guys could be the best 1 through 13 pitching staff in the playoffs and maybe in all of baseball.
Kirk on 0-2 takes down and away. And the Blue Jays offense, which is capable of exploding, do so late in Game 2, or they're going to be in deep trouble.
So we got our answer to the semi-question that I was openly talking about. What happens when you get 2 3-run homers in a postseason game?
Yeah, like has anybody ever lost in that case?
23-0.
Okay.
So 2 3-run homers or grand slams. 23-0. So that's how rare and how good it can be for a team when it happens.
Kirk pulls his hands in, takes a ball 2-2. Varsho and Clement to follow in this inning. Now, Kirk's been a little bit off. He had the 2 home runs in the first game of the division series, just 3 for 20 since then, although did knock in a run in the first inning today. even when he's off, it's never far off. John Schneider was talking about what he went through in September where he slumped for the final few weeks, and he said he never worried too much because he knew it would just take a little click and he'd take off again. Rolls this one to second for Polanco. One away in the sixth. Play ball is baseball's global youth initiative to highlight the fun and accessible ways to play our great game. To learn more, including how to find a league near you, go to playball.org and follow @playball on X, Facebook, and Instagram. One away for Varsho. Varsho, Guerrero, Clement combined for 25 hits in the division series. They have 2. Beg your pardon, they have 1 so far in the championship series.
And that's what happens. That's why people don't understand. You get that series win, you're feeling good, you got 3 days off or so, and you just think you're going to click back into the same spot. It just is weird. The postseason is about more days off than you almost could have in a regular season of 162 games. Think about that. So that's the difference, and the mental challenge that a hitter and a pitcher probably benefits a little bit more from the rest than a hitter would, for sure.
So in that way, what the Mariners went through becomes an advantage.
Sometimes it does. You talk about the momentum of coming in and not having any time to think about what just happened. Baseball's played like that. I mean, give or take 18 to 20 off days. I know they got some more off days than they used to, but 18 was the norm in 162 games. That's not a lot. And then you couple that in with 5 or 6 days off that both of these teams were able to survive that first series, and then you get the Mariners just coming in by the seat of their pants and Toronto having time to get some more sim games in.
Hitting rhythm and timing, that can go away. Go a few days without doing it. And you can do all you want in the cage and sim games and everything, but it's just not the same as going out there and seeing real live pitching. We're off tomorrow as we travel to Seattle. This hop, skip, and a jump over there to Seattle.
Hop, skip, and a jump. Yeah. Get a lot of work done on the plane.
Yeah.
Or sleep.
Depends on how far that seat reclines. Not a great upright sleeper. Shane Bieber will take the ball for the Blue Jays in Game 3. George Kirby, Game 5 of the Division Series starter, is back for the Mariners. 3-2 to Varsho is hit in the air, foul. What is that place going to be like? If it's anything like it was for Game 5, I cannot wait to get to Seattle.
Well, it's going to be super loud, and it won't have the influence of Blue Jay fans that maybe the regular season has had. It's going to be a loud Seattle crowd.
Varsho hits one in the air to right field. Back goes Robles on the track. He's got room. Mariners are 53 and 31 at home this year. Let's get a quick message from Corona. Robles talking with his buddies down in the bullpen. This is starting to take on the feel of yesterday's game, where Mariners pitching just completely put a stop to the Blue Jays offense. They've now retired 11 of the last 12 as Vargas gets strike one on Clement.
What a live arm this kid has.
Broke Clement's bat. Well, hope for the Blue Jays. One of the turning points of their season early on. They went into Seattle and swept the Mariners. Like you were talking about, it's often pro Blue Jays in Seattle. Fans making the trip across the border, just a few hours down Highway 5 from Vancouver. I don't know that they're going to have as much success doing that, to your point.
Talking about a hungry fan base, and I can appreciate this for the team I root for that's never been to the Super Bowl. When you've never been somewhere and you're on the brink of it, you're fired up.
Into center field off of the bat of Clement, and that's a 1-2-3 inning for Carlos Vargas. Back after a word from your local Fox station.
Kissy face, sent to your phone, boy. Don't you want me like I want you, baby?
Julio Rodriguez starts the 7th for the Mariners and takes a breaking ball for a strike from Braden Fisher. Started the scoring with a 3-run home run in the first inning. After a quiet final few games of the division series, it's been all over for the Mariners here in the championship series. You figured if the Mariners were going to win this series, they're going to make up a run to a place they've never gone. He was going to have to be in the middle of it.
Absolutely. And man, Rodriguez has got such an electric bat when he's on mechanically. When he started off the year, and he got on a roll, and when he got on a roll, he started owning the fastball, in my opinion.
And so you ask the question, what happened, what changed down the stretch for the Mariners? And yeah, they added Naylor and they added Suarez, but they also added the best version of Rodriguez. And it's pretty much every year that's been the case. Quiet start, monster second half where he's as good as anybody. The 1-2 from Fisher, reaches out, stays alive. Got to the big leagues when he was 21, rookie of the year, helped get him to the playoffs, signed the big extension, and set a high bar for himself at the rookie year he had, and then added the expectations that come with a big contract. And so that's been heavy at times. Hey! Take strike 3 for the first out of the 7th. Still, though, I think you zoom out and you think about the fact that he's only 24 years old. He's still just in his 4th year. Everything that he's done, this guy still has an amazing career ahead of him. One gone in the 7th inning. And up comes Jorge Polanco, who has stolen the headlines in this game and in this series and really this postseason for the Mariners. And he's got another base hit, lashing a ball into right field. His 2nd knock of the day and his 4th one of this series already. I mean, he looks like he's in the backyard playing wiffle ball.
Yeah, he takes a breaking ball and just tattoos it in between 1st and 2nd. Again, simple swing, simple approach. And when you don't try to do too much, you can have success.
That's 8 hits for the Mariners today. 2 of them from this guy, Josh Naylor, who has been traded 4 times already. 1st-round draft pick a decade ago, the Marlins. They traded him to the Padres. Padres traded him to the Guardians. Guardians to Arizona this offseason, and then Seattle at the deadline. Talk about what he's brought in terms of average and the stolen bases, but he's brought an edge too. A lot of nice guys in this Mariners club, and that's a good thing, but you can use a little bit of this too, this edge, this intensity that Josh Naylor brings. Hey! The 2-1 from Fisher. In for strike 2. Yariel Rodriguez in the Toronto pen. 7-3 Seattle. Seahawks over the Argonauts. Even those receivers getting a head start, all they got is a field goal. Full count. Flied to deep right field. Back goes Lucas at the wall. Goodbye. Third home run of the game for the Mariners, blasting their way through game 2. They lead it 9-3. It's the third hit of the game for Josh Naylor, who has shown all the things that he brings. The bat to ball, the stolen base, and now the power.
These are trips to the mound that the Blue Jays were hoping to not make a lot of, and they've been forced into it because of the power of the Seattle Mariners. And he takes one middle and just Fred McGriff, right? Follow through, former Blue Jay.
At a stadium where he went deep when he was a high schooler. Now as a big leaguer in the postseason, Josh Naylor gets to hold the trident. Careful with that thing. Mississauga zone, Josh Naylor with a 2-run home run and a 9-3 Seattle lead. Looking like they're going to head back to Seattle with a 2-0 series lead. Eugenio Suarez takes a strike from Yariel Rodriguez. Rodriguez pitched in 2 games against New York, didn't give up a run. Converted starter. He's had a good year out of the bullpen. 28-year-old from Cuba. Pitched in Japan, dominated for a few years there, and signed a 5-year contract with the Blue Jays. Was in the rotation for pretty much his entire rookie year. 3 ERA out of the pen this year. Here's 1-1 to Suarez.
Well, that's in.
It's amazing how silent this place is.
I was just saying, it's shock. The shock for this fan base, and obviously the disdain for New York in their own division. They were going to be riled up and had a great victory over the Yankees, but they did not see this coming, especially when the whole world was watching at least who were the Blue Jays going to play, and it was going 15 innings. Could it go 18 innings? And the advantage just kept going up and up and up for the Toronto Blue Jays the more that game was being played until this happens.
To walk for Suarez. I think that, yeah, they're going to take whoever they got out of the longer went, whatever. But the preference had to be that Detroit win that game if you're a Blue Jay.
Yeah.
And wind up having to deal with his pitching and with this power. Yeah, you would have to deal with Tarek Skubal, but who knows when he was going to be available to pitch. Wasn't going to be either of these first 2 games. And the lineup just can't hold a candle to what Seattle can do when it's right, when you're looking Detroit versus Seattle. Rivas takes a strike.
And again, not to belabor and the little twists and turns, and sometimes you have to overcome it, but everybody thought was strike 3 on the first hitter. Except, I mean, the hitter was walking off. The catcher's getting ready to throw it around the horn. The pitcher's thinking, here we go, I'm going to strike out a bunch. And then 2 batters later, it's 3-0. And these are the kind of things that, you know, playoff baseball can happen. Things can happen quickly. And all it takes is a little shock to the system. Like, I didn't see that coming. What happened there? And we see examples of it all the time, every year.
Or if a base runner feels like a rally and it's the leadoff hitter of the game, my goodness. And then the domino effect of what that does to the crowd and the environment. And I know the Blue Jays fought right back, but it's set quite a tone. 1 batter and then 3 batters into the game.
Especially when it's 0-2, right? I believe the count was 0-2.
3-1 on Rivas. Rodriguez struggling to find the strike zone here. Rivas had his moment in game 5. 28-year-old off of the bench, pinch hit, game-tying single. His first plate appearance of the postseason. He thought he was going to come in, but as a pinch runner, he was back down in the tunnel getting his legs loose to pinch run, and Maniac, to the bench coach, shouted down, "Hey, we need you to hit." He came up and delivered. Almost a decade in the minor leagues, waited for his chance, got to the major leagues for 40 games last year. 40 games this year as well, but most of it spent mashing AAA pitching. Switch hitter that they feel like they can trust no matter what they ask him to do. Postseason roster. And he's taking a walk. Let's go back to that first inning that we were talking about with Arozarena. This, everybody, Arozarena included, thought was strike 3.
He was going in the dugout, and then a hanger right in the middle of the zone. And you're like, oh well, all right, a lot of time to come back and give Toronto credit. They came back, tied the game up, and really with first and third and Guerrero up, had Gilbert on the ropes, and now it's been the bullpen.
And it's the second day in a row that the Toronto bullpen came in and immediately gave something up. Not charged to the pen, but those inherited runners coming in to score. Today it was Varland came on and inherited a couple runners, gave up the 3-run home run to Polanco. 0-1 on Robles.
Ball. Yeah, he blew away Rodriguez for the strikeout, and you're like, whoa. And the next batter hits a homer.
Chris Bassett was not on the division series roster, hasn't pitched in almost a month because of a back issue. He's getting ready to make his postseason debut, or at least in this year's postseason. We didn't know what role exactly we'd see him in. He's a starter all year, but figured it was going to be Scherzer or Bassett that would join the rotation. One of them would pitch out of the pen. By the sounds of it, and talking to John Schneider, because Scherzer's more of a routine-oriented guy, more of a creature of habit, they'll keep him on a starter's routine and likely have him for Game 4.
Touchdown.
Bassett was going to be a little more malleable. And it looks like they're set to use him here to close out this game. Some frustrations from this crowd. Back-to-back walks issued by Yariel Rodriguez. So now 3-1 on Robles.
Ball 4.
He's walked, the bases loaded. Maple Leafs lost earlier. Blue Jays falling flat in Game 2. Hopefully Grandma doesn't overcook the turkey. Well, it's not been Raleigh today. It's been the other guys. We were talking about that. Raleigh's been the only guy that's done much of anything in this postseason. Polanco the timely hits, but the power today coming from other sources. Rodriguez and Polanco both 3-run home runs. Josh Naylor's added a 2-run home run of his own. Another pitching change coming up here. Guys taking turns having the big swings and toting the trident. National League Championship Series finally gets underway. Got a 2-game head start over here in the AL. 8 o'clock Eastern over on TBS. Dodgers and Brewers rematch of the 2018 NLCS. And the tail of the tape right here. Milwaukee owned the regular season series, winning all 6. Strength against strength. Top offensive team in the National League against the top pitching team in the National League. Blake Snell for the Dodgers tonight. And an opener, Aaron Ashby, goes for the Brewers. Bases are loaded for J.P. Crawford and Chris Bassett, who has not pitched in nearly a month. Starting pitcher, of course, for the Jays. Has been out with a back injury, was not on the roster for the division series. They're going to see what they have here in a relatively low pressure situation.
It's actually great. I mean, it's not a great spot to come in, the bases loaded, but to get his ability to get feel again for pitching in game situations, because simulation game just doesn't do it. It helps to go out there and throw against hitters you don't know.
6'5", arms and legs flying everywhere. 36-year-old from Ohio. This is inside, and it's 1-2 on Crawford. Had a relief appearance that he volunteered to make between starts around the All-Star break. That was his first relief appearance in 6 years, back to when he was in Oakland early on in his career.
His funkiness is what he uses for his advantage, but it could also be something that gets that release point when you haven't pitched in a while. You got those arms going all over and you get underneath pitches. You don't want to get underneath. Even if it's a lower arm angle, you want to stay on top of that baseball.
Coming into the postseason, you knew the Blue Jays offense was good. You knew the defense was good. The question was, did they have enough pitching? And I guess it's easy to forget that that was the concern coming in because Gausman and Savage were so good in the first 2 games of the division series. That looked like a strength as well. But for a lot of the year, it was kind of a question. Did they have enough pitching to go the distance? The Mariners perhaps exposing what has been a season-long, not necessarily weakness, but certainly not a strength the way that it looked in the division series. Nowhere to put him. 3-2. Crawford fouls it off, stays alive. And a bullpen that for a lot of the year, that was more towards the struggle bus. Got it going down the stretch, but they're getting touched up in this series. 5 runs on 9 hits, a couple of inherited runners that have scored as well. And we got the Mariners pen not giving anything up. Crawford trying to break it wide open. Fouls it off and stays alive. And Crawford in some pain as he hops around. We go down to Kenny.
Well, Joe, John Schneider is going to face questions after this game, just as he did after the last game. Did he not go long enough with Kevin Gausman? Did he go too long with Trey Yesavage when Yesavage's velocity in the 4th inning was down? But as you just showed there with that graphic, that comparison, there is nothing that makes a manager look worse than a struggling bullpen. And that is part of what Schneider is dealing with here. And that is part of the explanation for what has happened in these 2 games.
And look, it's an offense that was the best in baseball. Seattle's offense over the last month plus. The wrong group to not have great stuff against. Fly to center field. Varsho comes on to make the grab. Here comes Suarez. Throw to the plate from Varsho's cut off after the shoulder surgery that he had in the offseason. He has the weakest throwing arm in the American League. And so a sacrifice fly for J.P. Crawford. Double digits for Seattle in game 2. There you go from can the Mariners steal one of these 2 games to can they be stopped? They only scored more than 3 runs 1 time in the postseason entering today. 2 outs, Arozarena. Couple runs scored for Randy today and an infield hit for his first hit of this series.
Storylines come and go in the postseason, as we all know, but players change the narrative, and that's just that simple. Like, you know, this game doesn't go well and end up well for Toronto. They change the narrative in game 3 in Seattle, getting off to a fast start, winning a game. It really comes down to execution. And
swing and a miss on that high fastball. Seattle gets 3 more. They get their 3rd home run of the day from Josh Naylor. Frustrations growing for the Jays. 3 bombs for the Mariners today. Naylor with the latest, 10-3. As Carlos Vargas stays in and rifles a strike to Davis Schneider. 13 of the last 14 Blue Jays have been retired. Similar story to yesterday's game when 23 of the last 24 were sat down by M's pitching. Bouncing ball to short. Routine for Crawford. 1 away in the 7th.
can you think of a script that was written when you were flying from Seattle to get here? Okay, here's what's going to happen. We're going to somehow win that game 1 with an unbelievable performance. Like, you can't write a script. You just have to. That's why baseball's baseball. You never know how it's going to happen. And guys have a chance to change what the expectation is. That's why I marvel at the playoffs, and you just never know.
That's the beauty of sports, right? That's why you turn it on. You just don't know what's going to happen, who the heroes are going to be, what the stories are going to turn into.
Ball, that's all.
2-0 on Andres Jimenez. Yeah, if somebody had said they're going to figure out game one and that Bryce Miller is going to stay in the game longer than Kevin Gausman, and then they're going to blow them out so bad in game two that they don't have to use their top relievers, you would have said, yeah, pipe dream.
Hey!
These Blue Jays, have you watched these Blue Jays play? You think they're going to do that to them? They have. High strike, 2-2. Not been Doug Edding's finest game. Credit to these Blue Jays fans, by the way. This game lopsided, and there are not too many empty seats. All right, they got the premium food behind home plate. The empty seats you see there, they're just back there getting prime rib, turkey. Yeah, right. And whatever the heck that is that you just started munching in.
Come on, it's a specialty.
Honestly, it was unrecognizable when you opened it. You're going to have to invite me. 3-2.
Well, Rick turned me on to it. It's fries, gravy, and
poutine,
curds, cheese curds.
That's what that is?
Yeah. It's a specialty here. A lot of people in the stands having that. Got to eat it with a fork.
A walk for Jimenez. Turkey wasn't enough to put you to sleep.
Had to need some gravy.
Fox Sports Ed's powered by Google Cloud. Let's see what we got. 38% chance to not give up another run for the Seattle bullpen. It's gone 15 1/3, the longest stretch in franchise history in the postseason without a run. Thanks to Google for powering those real-time insights. Top of the order in George Springer. Jays trying to chip away here in the 7th, down 7. Double and a walk for Springer today. Back-to-back games here that he started with a loud swing. A home run yesterday, the double today. We saw in game 2 of the division series the Yankees make what seemed like a meaningless rally, and they fell short, but they forced some Blue Jays pitchers into the game that they would later get to in the series. Maybe there's at least that to be accomplished for the Blue Jays here. Springer to right center field. And Robles, you'd love to be able to force them to get Munoz and Brash and Spire back into the conversation. Let's get a quick word from FanDuel.
Make baseball come alive when you bet live this season with FanDuel.
Perfect day going for Nathan Lucas. He's 3 for 3. Rest of the team is 3 for 23. Oh, 0-2.
There's a lot of chains in this series. Rosarena probably has the thickest one.
Swing and a miss at that high fastball. Carlos Vargas, 2 scoreless innings, getting his postseason on track. Your team, your players, your postseason. You can follow all the postseason action. Download the MLB app, the #1 app for live baseball. All Mariners in game 2. They've done it without any big swings from Cal Raleigh. Leads off this inning and pops the first pitch foul from Chris Bassett. Instead, it's been home runs from Julio Rodriguez, Jorge Polanco, and Josh Naylor, the 3 guys that follow Raleigh in the lineup. They have all connected. A 10-3 Seattle lead. Cal's been on for 2 of those home runs after walks.
Getting the ball in, we talked about earlier in the game about the success rate as long as you get it in. He, being Cal, has that, doesn't put many balls in play in there, but when he does, it's with damage.
Ball, that's down.
See if Raleigh and the Mariners can keep this offense going back in Seattle, which is the #1 pitcher's park in baseball. 4 postseason games, the last 2 postseason trips for the Mariners there. Nobody has scored more than 3 runs. Pop up left side, Barger for the first out of the 8th. 3 of the 4 games have gone to extras just because nobody's had enough offense to get any kind of separation. They've averaged total 3 runs a game in the postseason games there the last few years.
It's crazy when you think about that infamous 18-inning game against the Astros.
1-0.
1-0.
Rodriguez, the first of the home runs today, fouls off the first pitch. You consider what he's done over his first 4 seasons offensively, and that is in that offensive environment. That's the other thing with Cal Raleigh in his 62 home run season or 60 home run season. It's come in Seattle, top pitchers park for half of the games.
Ball.
So you look at the individual players and then you look collectively at this being the top offensive team down the stretch, one of the top home run hitting teams overall. When you factor in the ballpark, that makes it that much more impressive what this offense has done. Looping curveball right there, 1-2. Chris Bassett has got the whole kitchen sink and throws as many slow pitches as anybody in baseball. After 71, ball 71 again. Emerson Hancock looking to finish off this game. And barring a rally from the Blue Jays, they're going to have the luxury of not having to use their top 3 guys or 3 of the top 4. They use Bizardo, but no Munoz, no Brash, no Spire. Well, the calendar turns to 2026. In March, it'll be the World Baseball Classic, and Aaron Judge will play for Team USA for the first time. Cal Raleigh, Bobby Witt Jr. We'll watch it all on Fox. U.S. tries to avenge the championship game loss against Otani and Team Japan a few years back. What an amazing scene that always is in Miami. Rodriguez down on strikes, 2 gone in the 8th. And now Polanco is living his best life these past few days. Here on Friday, 2 hits yesterday, including 2 runs batted in, and today a 3-run shot. Broke the tie game in the 6th and the 5th.
Yeah, just when Toronto had gotten every momentum back, Polanco took it from him.
Pops this one up, left side of the diamond. Kirk with the call. And the catch, and a scoreless eighth for Chris Bassett. Strauss, the official workwear partner of Major League Baseball. Coming up right after our game on Fox tonight, it's brand new episodes of Celebrity Name That Tune and Celebrity Weakest Link. All Seattle in game 2. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. leads off the bottom of the 8th for Toronto. It is 10-3 Mariners. Emerson Hancock comes on to pitch, whips one outside, ball 1. First time he's pitched in a couple weeks. Spent the first half of the season in the rotation with the injury issues that they had there. July and August he was down in AAA. And then back up in September to pitch out of the bullpen for the first time in his career, and really seemed to take a liking to that. His last 5 games did not give up a run over 9 2/3. And what a difference this has been. Mariners pitching, not giving up a hit to Vlad Jr. Have you seen a distinct difference in approach, the way they've attacked him to what the Yankees did?
Not really. You know, timing, again.
The leadoff walk here.
Getting on a roll, seeing the same pitchers, hitting every day, you know, 4 days in a row, whatever. Those are all things that, you know, hitters go through their ebb and flow. And I just think that that guy is tough to mess with if he gets runners on.
Reaches for the first time with the walk right there, and Barger takes the ball. Hancock has missed with his first 5 pitches. And, you know, it's not to pick on Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Really, the whole offense has fallen off the cliff after the record-setting explosion in the division series. Had 23 runs in the 2 games at home, 8 home runs in those 2 games. They had a home run on the first pitch yesterday. Don't have one since. You know, Dan Wilson will not have much wiggle room here for Hancock if he can't find the strike zone. You don't mess around in postseason games. Ball 6. Hancock, former first-round pick out of Georgia. 3rd year with time in the major leagues. Battled through a shoulder injury, back and forth between the big leagues and the minors, and he has just not so far been cut out for this stage.
No, worst case scenario.
Feeding the Blue Jays a morsel of life. Finally finds a strike zone on his 8th pitch. And the top guys that they would love to be able to stay away from loosen as Barger flies this to left field. And Rosarena makes the grab for a settling first out.
Yeah, that's a brain reset right there. That's like, whew.
Brash begins to throw. Alejandro Kirk knocked in a run in the first inning. 1 for 3 today, 1 for 7 in this series. Ball. 2-1.
Pulling that front side out when he's low 3/4, you pull that front shoulder out, you're going to pull pitches, and then the strike zone plate's going to look like it's bouncing.
2-2 to Kirk. Fouls it off. Blue Jays just one hit over the last 6 innings. It's a single from Lucas in the 5th. Four runs on 8 hits total in the 2 games. Kirk lays off and the count goes full. NLCS underway in Milwaukee. Dodgers and Brewers. About to complete game 2 here of the American League Championship Series. Somebody's going to make some form of history with the 4 teams that we've got left. Dodgers trying to be the first team to make it to the World Series after winning it since the Phillies in 08 and 09.
Ball 4
for Kirk. Nobody's won back-to-back titles since the Yankees won 3 in a row at the turn of the century. Blue Jays trying to win it for the first time in 32 years, and then 2 teams still searching for that first title, Mariners and Milwaukee.
Well, this will be his last hitter if he can't find the strike zone on a little more consistent basis. And to your point earlier, small victory for Toronto, the more guys they can get in from Seattle's bullpen.
Brash looks ready to go as Varsho rounds one foul, strike 2. Fly to deep right field. Room for Robles though. 2 out. Guerrero will take 3rd. Go first and 3rd, 2 gone, and you can wear what the players are wearing on the field during the postseason. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, hoodies, t-shirts, and more. MLBshop.com for your favorite postseason team gear. Only thing that can save this day for Ernie Clement would be his Buffalo Bills. Not going good?
Not at all.
Ball. Down 21-7.
Ball.
2-0. Off to center, Rodriguez. And the Blue Jays strand a pair, sending this game to the 9th inning. Josh Naylor will lead things off for the Mariners. Last time he was up there, did this. Eric Lauer, who gave him 1 2/3 in the bullpen game that clinched in New York. On for the top of the 9th, Miles Mastrobuoni makes his postseason debut, pinch hitting for Josh Naylor. Lauer 9-2 in the regular season, back and forth between the bullpen and the rotation. New catcher for the Jays as well. Tyler Heineman replaces Alejandro Kirk. Two to Mastrobuoni, misses. Mariners got 3 runs, 3 batters into the game today. Julio Rodriguez launched a home run inside the foul pole. Blue Jays tied it quickly But then another 3-run home run. Jorge Polanco in the top of the 5th. They added 1 in the 6th and 3 in the 7th. Strike 3 call on the outside corner, and we go down to Tom Verducci.
Well, thanks. What a day, an eventful day for Josh Naylor. And it looked like it was going to be an abbreviated one. If you go back first inning, fouls a ball off his foot. Man, did that hurt. 5th inning, though, he really looked compromised. This is when the manager, Dan Wilson, came out to check on him. Looked like some kind of strain, something clearly bothering him. Well, it wasn't bothering him too bad. A great play defensively on a diving stop, and then the 2-run home run. After that 5th inning at bat, Dan Wilson went up to Josh Naylor and had to be convinced by Josh to stay in the game. They actually had Miles Mastrobuoni, who you just saw pinch hit, getting loose to replace him. Josh Naylor was having nothing of it. Don't forget, he grew up in Mississauga, about 40 minutes away from here. His amateur team growing up, the Ottawa Blue Jays, the top amateur team in Canada. And he played a high school baseball tournament, an all-star tournament right here at Rogers Center. You think he likes playing here? He's now a career .326 hitter against his hometown team.
Yeah, and a hockey player in addition to baseball growing up. Helps explain some of the toughness, refusing to come out of the game. Overcame a gruesome leg injury a few years back when he was playing in Cleveland that had him pretty much bedridden for an entire offseason. He wasn't sure that he was ever going to play again. Breaking pitch for a strike on Suarez. He had his mom toss him balled up socks that he would hit laying there in bed to just help keep his hand-eye coordination somewhat going. Two to Suarez, straight up the middle and through. Base hit into center field for Suarez, the 10th knock of the game for the Mariners. Coming up after this game is finished, stay tuned for the postgame show on FS1 with Kevin Burkhardt, Alex, Poppy, and Derek, presented by Strauss. Leo Rivas had to walk his first time up, and a productive spot in the order right here. The DH spot. They pinch hit for Canzone. Garver tripled. Rivas came on and walked.
He had a moment. Big moment. Against the Tigers on his birthday, I believe.
Yeah. Best birthday ever. Turned 28 and had the game time pinch hit base hit. On a 1 from Lauer. Unable to lay off. So if you're the Jays, how do you change the story when the series goes to Seattle?
Well, you get a chance to get on the scoreboard first in the first inning and take their crowd, which is going to be, I would say, the loudest we've ever heard it. I don't know that they expected potential 2-0 lead coming home.
Fly the other way. Lucas retreats. He's there. And there's just something about time and the work that time does on a fan base's psyche. And they have waited forever to get this close. They've never been up 2-0 in a championship series. As close as they've ever been to the promised land. Robles, who's looking for his first hit of the day.
Ball, that's all.
Takes outside, ball 1. Shane Bieber tries to improve upon his first outing of the postseason. Struggled at Yankee Stadium. Went just 2 1/3 in Game 3 of the division series. George Kirby, if you're him, you're just trying to keep on doing what you did in Game 1 or Game 5 of the division series. 5 scoreless innings right there with Tarek Skubal. Kirby for Game 3, Castillo for Game 4. And the Mariners pitching that was depleted coming in will be pretty much reset. This time of year nobody feels great, but reset, nobody having to be forced to pitch on short rest anymore.
Yeah, that's the big part. Not knowing how these first 2 games were going to go and who he was going to use, I bet you there was a bunch of possibilities. And there's a good reason to believe that none of them came into play. And the best case came into play for Dan Wilson.
Zone widens up right here in a 10-3 game. 3-2 on Robles. Seven pitchers used in this game for the Jays. Just 4 innings from Savage. Here's a payoff. Got him to chase. Strike 3. To the bottom of the 9th we go in a 10-3 ball game. Well, Sandy Alomar Sr. passed away today at the age of 81. Played for 15 seasons in the big leagues, long coaching career after that. And of course, his boys, Sandy and Roberto, big leaguers. Roberto won the 2 World Series here in Toronto as part of his Hall of Fame career. Back at the Rogers Center, a 10-3 game. The Mariners ahead at the bottom of the 9th inning, 3 outs away from a 2-0 series lead as it heads back to Seattle on Wednesday night. Davis Schneider will lead things off. Not only are they going to be up 2-0, but as long as Hancock can do his job here, they're going to win game 2 without having to use 3 of their top 4 relievers. Miles Mastrobuoni stays in, plays first base after pinch hitting for Naylor. Only 1 hit for the Jays since the 2nd inning.
That's the crazy part.
Ball.
The Jays, after finishing yesterday's game by having 23 of 24 retired, are 1 for their last 20 today. Three and 1 on Schneider. Averaging 12 hits per game in the division series. 2 yesterday, 6 today. 3 of those 6 came in the first inning. 2! Speaking of chains, I think we found one bigger than Randy's.
Yeah.
Leadoff walk for Schneider. 3rd one that Hancock's issued. The shortstop Jimenez 0 for 2 with a walk.
Ball, that's all.
The Seattle Mariners team that finally toppled the Astros in the division. First division title since 2001.
Ball, that's in.
Championship series for the first time since 2001, but had to overcome so much to accomplish both those things. They had the 17 of 18 through September. Munoz having a war with the lack of control here from Emerson, Hancock. And then losing game 1 of the division series, blowing game 4 of the division series, having to fight on to a 5th game. All these cross-country flights, all the travel all year. They've been up for every challenge. 2-2 on Jimenez. Well, they got the repeat of 95, what Bryce Miller did last night, doing his best Bob Wolcott to win game 1, but they have one up that 95 championship series squad by looking to get into 2-0. It would be the first time that they'd reached a 2-0 series lead at this stage. The equation for him all year has been out-pitch you, out-homer you. Out-pitched him yesterday, tied in the home run column. Did both today. With his high-powered Blue Jays lineup down and hit 3 home runs. The rally caps on. Different versions. One gone in the 9th. Top of the order, George Springer. Double and a walk over the first 2 innings, 0 for 2 since then. Ball. George is on a lot of those Astros teams that for years had a monopoly on the American League West. It's the first time since 2016 Astros didn't make the playoffs this year.
Surprising that Hancock still can't get his release point anywhere closer to the strike zone, creating a little bit of stress for Dan Wilson. You certainly don't want to bring Munoz in.
Grounded to third, Suarez has it to second, 1 to first, 2 to Seattle, 2-0. Who would have thought the Mariners would come in here? You'd figure running out of steam with not much in the tank. They had plenty and have firm control of this championship series.
Well, it's a team that's been through a lot. They've had some streaks in the season, some not so good, and then at the end of the season, an incredible streak. And then played a really tough 5-game series and got to travel a lot. They've been used to it. It's not easy. And this team, according to their manager, is about as close-knit as he's ever seen.
They hold the Blue Jays to 1 hit over the last 7 innings of this game. They hit 3 home runs and float to a 10-3 win. Dan Wilson doesn't even have to go to his top relievers, rest those guys for an extra day. And the Seattle Mariners are as close to going to the World Series as they've ever been. Blue Jays will try to wipe this one from their memories. Up on that flight across the continent to Seattle, where they swept a 3-game series earlier this year. We'll have Shane Bieber going in game 3. George Kirby counters for the Mariners. How many Blue Jays fans will find their way into the ballpark in Seattle? T-Mobile Park ready to rock on Wednesday night. Let's go down to the field. Tom Verducci.
Boy, this was a 7-run game, but it was tied when you came to the plate in the 5th inning. 2 runners on base after a rare no-out intentional walk to Cal Raleigh. Take me through your approach and what it felt like to see that ball go over the wall.
It felt amazing. I'm going to start with that. It felt amazing to see that ball go over the wall, but yeah. My approach was just, I went there, I'm trying to get a good pitch to hit. Simple as that. I was just trying to get a good pitch to hit, trying to hit it hard.
Jorge, you know how loud it's been in Seattle, but this time for game 3, you're going home as close as the Mariners have ever been to the World Series. 2 wins away. What do you expect for game 3 in Seattle?
I expect a lot of noise from the fans. I know they're going to show up. I know they're going to bring a lot of energy for us. I know they're going to come and support us, and we're just going to go there and keep competing, keep competing.
Congratulations. We'll see you there.
Thank you very much.
Back to you.
All right, Tom, could it be happening for Julio and the Seattle Mariners? A 10-3 win and a 2-0 series lead in the American League Championship Series.
God bless you. Double pro. I'm on this sound fairly no. DJ Softy man. I'm on you be. You don't know. Sugar. Love what you give to me. It's sweet past you got cane. I not go like you dey hide me past cocaine. See the way she just the wine. She the one pass up piano do. I swear to God, now she dey do me do. Comforting, give me love again. Give me love again. If you give me love again, I will never throw away. Comforting, give me love again. Give me love again. If you don't give me love again, it go make me go insane. Comforting, yeah. Yeah, comfort your mama no more so. Yeah, comforting reloki me. Yeah, combo no be reisa. Yeah, comforting, yeah. Yeah, comfort your mama no more so. Yeah, comforting reloki me. My baby too fine, no, now so she dey beautiful. Anytime I see her face, you, I go just tell a fool. Now because of you, my guys them they call me big fool. Big fool, man. See the way she soft to you, she be like foo. Comforting, give me love again. Give me love again. If you give me love again, I will never throw away. Comforting, give me love again. Give me love again. If you don't give me love again, it gon' make me go insane. Comforting, yeah. Yeah, comfort your mama no more so. Yeah, comforting reloki me. Yeah, combo no be reisa. Yeah, comforting, yeah. Yeah, comfort your mama no more so. Yeah, comforting reloki me. Yeah, combo no be reisa. Double pro. Yeah, God bless you know. I'm on this song, yeah. Double pull on the miss. Yeah. DJ Softy man, I see you. I'm on this song, yeah.
Как тяжко мертвецу среди людей, живым и страстным притворяться. Но надо в общество втираться, скрывая для карьеры лязг костей. Живые спят, мертвец встает из гроба, и в банк идет, и в суд идет, в сенат. Чем ночь белее, тем чернее злоба, и перья торжествующе скрипят. Мертвец весь день трудится над докладом, присутствие кончается, и вот нашептывает он, виляя задом, сенатору скабрезный анекдот. Уж вечер мелкий дождь зашлепал грязью прохожих и дома и прочий вздор. А мертвеца к другому безобразию скрежещущий несет таксомотор. Как тяжко мертвецу среди людей,